Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. So it's been a long summer. I had quite a lot of vacation, almost 6 weeks, and now I'm finished with that. It's in the end of August now and the weather is still good, but now it's time to do some retro computer stuff again. So during the summer I got a lot of new stuff. If you saw my video from my visit in Sweden with Robert, I got a lot of cool stuff from him. I'm not gonna go through that in detail, but here we can take a look at some of it.
Before I continue, I just want to say thank you to my sponsor PCBWay. They do a great job at producing prototype PCBs. I have used them many times, so I really appreciate the cooperation. If you want to have produced your own PCBs, then just visit PCBWay.com and you can get an instant quote right now with 10 PCBs for as low as $5 US. Besides PCB manufacturing, they also do CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication and 3D printing. So that's all your needs for your hobby projects. Also visit their shared project site where you can find a lot of ready-made great designs which you can order PCBs directly from this site. So go ahead and visit PCBWay.com right now.
I also got this box with a little 9-inch monitor of unknown brand, and that was a donation. I got some equipment like this oscilloscope here, and I'm really looking forward to testing that. Also got a function generator and also got this old power supply. It's analog and it's quite heavy and powerful seemingly, and it should be working, so that's something I like to test. Also got some floppy disk drives and this little hard drive emulator for the Atari ST I like to test out. And over here, something else interesting I got. This is a Spectra Video SVI machine, and under that you have a IBM Model 30 spares machine. Don't know the status of that. And below here we actually have a working IBM Model 30, and that is a 286 machine, I think. So I'm looking forward to take a look at that and do some restoration work on that. But first of all, I just want to be finished with the project I started before the vacation. You saw my last video when I figured out what was wrong with it, and it actually works. It's this, the ZX Spectrum 128 2 Plus or Plus 2. And yeah, I got some new parts for it, so I hope I can manage to finish it in this video, that it's gonna be a quick and easy video. The thing that was wrong with this machine was that one transistor was gone, and I replaced that and it worked. Also got a lot of the missing keycaps for the machine. There was 7-8 keycaps missing here, but still, as you can see, I miss 2 keycaps. And I think I got them now, but there's a damage there that needs to be repaired. Also, I tested the internal tape drive and I couldn't read that one ZX Spectrum tape I had, so I'm not sure what's wrong there, if it's the tape itself or the drive. I want to take a look at that as well. But I also want to do a mod to this so that I can hook up an external tape drive to use one of those modern devices that you can hook up to load games from a memory card. So that's the plan for this video. I actually don't like when my videos run out in time, and which this one did, so I just want to get it done, and hopefully I will. Let's take a look at what I got in this package here. I ordered this on a site called, yeah, what was it again? Retroleum, yeah, that was it, in the UK. I have ordered stuff there before, and always quick to ship it and no issues and quite good prices. And to my surprise, he had some spare keys, and yeah, that's the enter and the I, and that's the two that I miss. So that's excellent. Also got some feet and some screws. This is for the keyboard, and there was one missing screw there, and I used an original, and this is the case screws, which were all missing. So I think this machine now is complete. And this is something I printed for the keyboard repair. Two of the rings that the key caps goes into were broken off, and in the previous video I tried to fix one of them with printing such a ring, and it was a little bit too wide, so now I printed a little bit narrower, 9.4 millimeters instead of a diameter of 10 millimeters. So the next step then would be to try and repair the keyboard plate, and obviously I need to take it off then. Yeah, need to take off the back plate also to be able to access the plastics. So while now the autumn is coming up, I have a lot of projects planned already, not only the things I've shown you, the new stuff, but I had a couple of other projects was planned, and also have started a couple of projects or repair projects that I had to stop because I couldn't finish them, and need to take a further look at that. So now we can start by at least inserting the missing eye. That doesn't need any repairs, so yeah. Yeah, looks nice. This one is a little dodgy because it doesn't have that ring, so it's a little bit wobbly. So I need to fix that. That's why I have printed two rings. So I'm gonna start with that. There's some old glue left over there. Yeah, so this goes there. Obviously I'm gonna cut away the support material on the side. So I'm sweating a little bit here, not because it's hot. When I came home from Hong Kong, I actually felt sick, and the next day I took a COVID test and it was positive. So yeah, I had COVID last 3-4 days and still not completely well, but yeah, it will wear off. So that's where it goes. Just try and glue it down there and try to position it correctly and hope it fits better. Let me compare it to the original one. Yeah, size wise it looks to be exact. Yeah, just as well remove the keyboard before I start doing anything, so I don't spill any glue or anything onto the plate or to the membrane, I mean. And then you have these 4 screws also you need to take off. Yeah, I removed some of the surrounding keys just to get more room to play. Yeah, so this is what we have, and this is the damage. So my plan here was to actually just put something behind here, then try to fill it in with epoxy, and then try to drill the necessary hole. But I'm not really sure how it exactly looks, so I need to find a picture or something. And on the back side you also have the tabs for those metal supports. So yeah, seems like one of them, no, seems like two of them are okay. These are the ones over here, so they seems to be not broken at all. It's only this part that's broken, so that actually just looks like just plastic. Anyway, one thing at a time. I'm starting with this one and try to position it as good as possible compared to this one, and the hole is there, so should be something like that. Not too much. I left a little bit of support materials on the side just to have it get a better grip. I know I get some on my fingers as usual. That's okay. It's supposed to be more over there. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna use a little bit more glue on it just to strengthen it, but let the first layer stick first. The glue has cured, and it looks to be pretty solid and sitting nicely there. I added some more glue around just to strengthen it. So I inserted the enter key just to see how it actually fits, and yeah, doesn't look too bad to fix. I need to just fill in a little bit of this because yeah, there's supposed to be a hole there, so I need to try and model something around the yeah, the hole there. But the part that's supposed to hold the support metal clip, I think it's all right. So if I take the existing shape for the hole, and yeah, it's supposed to go there, and then attach it to a part 2 millimeter thick that goes down into that cavity. Not the exact shape, but nearly. Then I think I can actually print out the new part and yeah, fix it there with some epoxy glue from the back side. So I'm just playing a little bit here. I added a plate. You can only work with really basic shapes in this tool. If I wanted to do something more accurate, I would use another tool, but yeah. So I added a negative volume to this cylinder, and yeah, this is gonna cut off the underside at the same height as the solid block. So something like that. So now I think it's correct. Let's see. Yes. Okay, this is what I want. Now I have a model. It's hanging in the air like that. This part here, this rectangular block, I can always file off or cut off with a knife to make it fit better, or the Dremel, of course. So I'm gonna print this. Just need a little bit support for it, so because it's overhanging here, you can't print in mid-air, you need support. That's what I want, the support material under that, and I can export it and print it. So the 3D printed part came out just as I envisioned it. It's way too big, this rectangular shape, but the thing is, I'm now going to put it down there, and I need just to cut off this part, and I already filled in here with some filler. It's actually just blue tack pushed down there, and yeah, then I'm gonna fill the surrounding with epoxy. Just try to mark where I should cut this. something like that. Yeah, no need to do any particular ceremony for cutting this, just use my side cutter here. Let's see now. Yeah, I need to trim off a little bit there and there. So now just push this down and it should stay put there. I can see where the hole was placed before, so I think this is the correct position. If I test with the key, yeah, seems to be correct. So now I just try to mold this blue tack so that the epoxy doesn't run out. And this area here should be open because the key cap goes down there. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Super glue first. While I wait for the glue to harden, I'm gonna show you this one I got in the mail today. It came from We Retro Design in New Zealand. Yes, and it's the VLA 128. This is a ULA replacement for this machine, and I actually bought it because in the beginning I thought the ULA was gone, but it turned out it wasn't. So I didn't actually need this, but I did order it. I tried to cancel the order before it was sent, but I got no reply from the seller, so yeah, I have one spare now in case the original ULA figures out it's gonna fail at some point. And obviously this is a modern replacement. It's based on FPGA chip, I think. Yeah, that's a big Xilinx chip. We 2.0 2022. It's really nice that someone actually makes these things, because these chips are obviously very hard to find, and I guess making these doesn't give them a lot of sales, because I don't think there's a lot of need for this chip. Maybe, I'm not sure. A few components on the back, and then the big FPGA chip, which is a programmable chip. And this one emulates the ULA chip on this machine. So I'm going to test this a little bit later when I have the keyboard finished. So now comes the hard part. I'm going to mix up some epoxy glue and try to fill in into that mold. I'm not sure if it's going to stick to the blue tack or not. Anyway, if it does, it doesn't really matter. This is a 2-component, so I think that should be enough. Mix it very good. It's a bit sticky, so it doesn't run, so I need to try to apply it there and don't spill too much. Okay, let's see now if we can pull this off. Hopefully it runs down and fill the gaps. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, so I'm gonna let that harden, and I can always strengthen it a little bit more from the backside when it's hard, and I can remove the blue tack. Alright, the epoxy has secured, and I removed the, the white snot, and this looks actually very nice. It's formed very nicely on this side and on the other side. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Yeah, the blue tack didn't stick at all to the epoxy, so it was easy to remove. There's still a little bit left over between here, but yeah, it's not an issue. Yeah, so I'm going to strengthen it with a little bit extra epoxy glue here on the back side as well. So it isn't important that it looks nice underneath here. The most important thing is sturdy and can stand pressing the key. The epoxy has dried. Let's see now, does this work? Try with the P first. It's a little bit hard to get into the hole. No, it doesn't work. It's too tight, so I need to do some fixing there. Let's check the repaired enter. Maybe I'm more lucky there. Nope, that doesn't work. I think it's too thick, the cylinder. I try and use some files and see if I can file them up a little bit. I think maybe it's too, it's a little bit contamination of glue in the holes here. So it does work, but it's not perfect. I mean, it doesn't look nice, but yeah, I filed away a little bit. The P is now good. It's a little bit loose, but the enter, it travels down, but it's not the same click, obviously. It doesn't go all the way down. But I think this is a good enough fix. Alright, so I have assembled the keyboard, and yeah, with a little filing and dremeling, it works okay. The P is fine, the enter, it travels okay. I can feel it doesn't go all the way down, but yeah, hopefully it works fine. Alright, so with the machine working and the keyboard is fixed, I want to go over to the next phase here. I need to run some games on this machine, and yeah, it doesn't have an external cassette port. It only has an audio out, but that can't be used for that. Since it has internal cassette only, we need to do a little mod to this to actually get it to have an external cassette port. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and that is supposedly an easy mod. You just solder on some wire to the motherboard, and then you find somewhere to drill a hole for yeah, adding a tape port. I got this 3.5mm mono connectors here that it's like these cabinet connectors. You can drill a hole and then feed it through and screw on this little nut on the other side. I just hooked it up first just to test that it still works and the keyboard works. OP, return, yeah, return works fine, nice. For the modification, I found this page here, and yeah, it says adding an ear port to a gray +2. So it's obviously different if you have a black +2. You need one 3.5mm mono socket, one on-off switch, optional, and one wire, and one soldering iron and solder. Yeah, I think I have everything. So you need to find the location of the audio input. It is to pin 5 of the LA6324 chip. And here's some pictures. And then you need some place for a ground wire. And that's basically it. Yes, and the wires doesn't actually solder to the motherboard. It's actually this little PCB here. I'm not gonna bother with a switch. I mean, why would you need a switch? If this is not in use, then it's actually just open. Maybe it can make some noise, but yeah, I think I'll try without a switch at least. So pin 5, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for the ground, you can find it several places, but this is a pin that's on the ground plane. Yeah. Then to install this contact, I was thinking about installing it there. That will be right over the power input. Or I could install it there, but I already made the wires too short, so I think it's going to be there. You could also drill someplace here, but that's going to be a little bit ugly. I think that's the best spot. I need to find a 6mm drill bit. Yeah, let's see. I'll just eyeball it. Drill a hole there, but try not to break it. Yeah, perfect. Almost. Yeah, it fits. Yes. Alright, so this goes to the contact. This is the plus and the other two are minus. This is a mono contact, so these 2 points are the same solder points, so there's no need to actually bridge them together or anything. Simply just solder in the wire. Now, of course, this will make it harder to remove the cassette player if I want to do that. Yeah, I'll try and arrange it so that I can solder it easily. This is a silicone insulated wire, so the the insulation doesn't melt. Yes, that's done then. Solid, solid. Now, before I test the external cassette port, I'm gonna test the VLA chip. It's full of thermal paste. Just make a mark there so I know which side is which. So this is the new one. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to keep it as a spare in case I need one. Or yeah, maybe I'll sell it. A little bit thick pins on this, so hard to get it in. Yes, and apparently it works. So that's good. That's tested then. Alright, the machine is complete. Just need some screws, and I got the new screws here. It's 6 screws, all same length. Yeah, the screws fits fine. Just need a little note of what I did and when. I'm ready to test the machine a little bit, however I did forget to install the LED, so I had to open the machine again, and now I can see that it doesn't light, so I'm not sure if the LED itself is kaput, or maybe there was a connector I forgot to install. I don't remember. Yes, I forgot to insert the connector for the cassette module, so I had to open it again. So this is where the external cassette port now is. It's not completely centered, but yeah, that's good enough. Yes, machine is still working, and now we have a shiny LED. Let's take it for a little test then. Alright, so I'm gonna try out one of these Arduino based tape emulators. I don't remember what this is called. This is called a Maxduino, I think. Yeah, we just use a memory card, and I have a couple of Spectrum games on this. And you just hook it up to 5 volt power, and I have a 3.5mm lead here. I already connected it to the new input port, and now we should be able to navigate here and find some Spectrum stuff. ZX Spectrum, and the tape loader has been started. Nope, nothing seems to be happening here, so maybe I did a mistake. When you load from tape, the screen should be flashing in various colors, but there's no activity. So maybe I did a mistake. I wasn't really paying attention to this recipe. It just mentioned to find a ground point, and I thought I found one, but he actually soldered the ground wire to a specific hole there in the PCB. Maybe I found the wrong ground. Oh no, you probably already seen it and screamed at the screen. Yeah, I actually managed to connect both wires to the same contact point. Obviously ground is supposed to be there, so I actually shorted those. Well, at least that's an easy fix. Just move the black wire to where it's supposed to be. Okay, let's see if it helped. Obviously it helped, but let's try a cold run. Yeah, there's a reaction at least. Yeah, the sound. But it should say found cold run, shouldn't it? So I hear the audio obviously for the tape, but it doesn't load anything, so still doesn't work as I wanted. Nope. So the only thing I can think of is that I reversed the wires when I soldered them to the contact. I'm not really 100% sure which is the ground contact on those contacts. So I try and reverse it, see if that helps. Yes, that was it. I reversed the cables, and now it loads. Nice. Before I start filming, it said found cold run. Yeah, so it loads alright. Now trying bomb jack. The cold run game, it didn't actually finish loading, so I'm not sure why, but this seems to work better. As with all tape games, this takes a long time to load, several minutes. Even if you have this emulator, it's not any faster, so you just have to wait and hope for the best. Yes, look at that. It loaded, but I can hear some humming, and that's noise from the cassette adapter. If I unplug it, yeah, it's silent, so obviously there's some noise issue there, but still it loaded. So yeah, let's try it out then. I have a joystick connected or connecting. I'm not gonna use the keyboard. I guess P for Kempson and 1 for one player. No, that didn't work. Let's try the other port. Okay. I think the joystick stuff is not working. If I pull it out, it just goes crazy. Not sure what's going on here. I have this pad here, and it's been working fine on other machines, so but no, it doesn't work. Well, that is perhaps another issue. I'm sure it's nothing fault with the machine, but maybe the joystick interface is different than the Kempston. So let's see if we can Sinclair. If we select Sinclair, then yeah, that seems to work better, but the controls are different, you know. This is right and left, and this is jump. So that didn't work either. Yeah, I'm sure that's just some configuration issue with the joystick input. Okay, so that worked fine. I'm gonna test a 128K game, or a game that uses 128K. It's the Renegade. Download it. Let's see now if that will work. Oh, there's a lot of noise from the adapter. Probably should do something. I know there's actually a PCB you can buy or solder yourself for a proper external tape connection to this machine. It has an amplifier and some other components, so maybe that's better solution. So let's try this one. Renegade 128. I mean, when it plays, it actually is not noisy, but in the pauses, it's very noisy. Yeah, and this is going to take a long time, at least 10 minutes, judging by how fast the percentage is going. I don't want to move this around too much because I might introduce some noise. Yeah, Renegade. I guess it's supposed to be counting down here, but it's not. So I'm excited to see if this actually loads. It's at 53% now after 5 minutes or so. Yes, that loaded fine. Let's press 3, play. Unplug the device. Okay, so here we have several options. Sinclair 1, Sinclair 2. I'm gonna select Sinclair 1, which is 2. No, that did not work with my joystick. I guess joystick support was always some kind of an issue on the Spectrum machines. They just killed me right away. But how do you get back to the main menu? Brake doesn't work. Okay, let's try option 3, the Sinclair 2. Yeah, it's the same. I can control somewhat, but it's not the correct keys. So I can see the colors are terrible on the video. Now this is more correct. Yeah, I don't know how to play this with the joystick. regular Atari type joystick. So neither Kempston, Sinclair 1 or Sinclair 2 works with this standard joystick or pad. So yeah, guess I have to use the keyboard then. Alright, that concludes this video series, me repairing this Plus 2 ZX Spectrum. It was a fun journey and yeah, I learned a lot and now the machine is fully working and has option to load games from an external cassette player. So that's great. The internal cassette player is a little bit bad. I think it's the belts. I'm gonna order some new belts for it and hopefully it gets better then. I can see it runs too slow. Might be the motor as well, I don't know. Anyway, that was it. Hope you enjoyed this video and I just want to say thanks for all the likes and subscriptions and a special thanks to my patrons. See you next time. Bye bye.